the bottom button? All right, and now people can hear us. Cool. All right, so we are just starting up our introductory game of Shatterpoint at the store. So this is taking place at Waterloo Games down in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And I've got a friend of mine here who is brand new to the game and is joining me in teaching you guys and himself a little bit about it. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm John. I've been coming here for, I don't know, what, 6 months now? About 6 months now. So definitely didn't just finish painting these guys an hour ago.
All right, and I'm Talon. You guys may remember me from a couple of streams a little while back. So today we're going to be doing Shatterpoint. We're going to be doing kind of an abbreviated game where we're going to be running a single squad instead of a full 2-squad roster, just to make things a little bit easier to learn and stuff like that. So normally this game is played with 2 squads consisting of a leader, a secondary unit, and a support unit. So for instance, for myself, I am running a group of Mandalorians. So my squad is the Mandalorian, Bo-Katan Kryze, and Kryze Clan Mandalorians. My secondary squad for this is normally the Armor, Paz Vizsla, and some covert Mandalorians, just to bring together a real nice, well-rounded Mandalorian team. They specialize in durability, staying power, and playing the long game. Unfortunately, the last time I played this game, I was fighting a bunch of Ewoks who specialize in winning the game in the first 3 turns, and that was a bad matchup, man. I'll tell you what, I've never been so terrified of teddy bears in my life.
Hey man, they'll eat your face off.
Oh, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. All right, so for the first turn initiative player, we decided that I would go to simplify things. So the first thing we're going to do is deploy our squads. Since I'm the initiative player, I will deploy first. So I'm going to take this range 3 ruler, and I'm going to set it against the backfield here. And I'm going to take my squad leader and put him anywhere where he can touch this. So that could be back here if I wanted. That could be all the way up front. As long as he can touch the ruler, it's legal positioning. And then I'm going to take any ruler, so 2, 3, 5, whatever size, it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn it sideways like this, and this is considered range 1. And I'm going to place the rest of the squad within range 1 of him. So again, just make sure that the range ruler can touch both sides of it. And we'll deploy like this. Other than this initial setup, there is no cohesion that you have to worry about. Some of you 40K gamers or Age of Sigmar gamers may be thinking about cohesion. This game does not have that, so even a support unit like the Clan Kryze Mandalorians that have 2 models on 1 unit, they could split up if I wanted to. Now they have a shared health pool and they share actions, so it might get a little bit awkward if they're separated because they're going to be a little bit uncoordinated as far as what actions I need from them, but it is perfectly legal to do. All right, you can go ahead, John. Set up your guy. So as long as Mace Windu can touch that range 3 stick, he's a legal placement. So like I was saying, I'm playing Mandalorians. John brought some Republic keyword over here. He's got Mace Windu, some ARF troopers, and Commander Pons. So Republic is known for being very, very durable. Usually I have found that they use Obi-Wan as a particularly consistent pick because most, if not all, of the clone troopers have the ability to generate these hunker tokens, which we'll get into a little bit later throughout the game, but they can generate them without using actions, and then Obi-Wan makes those hunker tokens really powerful. Mace Windu, however, is kind of the exception in the Republic lineup. Mace Windu is very much not a support character. He is very much a I'm running in and beating the brakes off of whoever I can get my hands on character. All right, so this is our initial deployment. Now we're going to go ahead and go to our first turn. So what's going to happen is we're going to take our Shatterpoint cards here. These are our activation cards. We have 1 for each unit card that we have down here, as well as 1 Shatterpoint card. This is going to tell us who activates, so we draw this kind of randomly. Again, some skirmish players, 40K players, you know, normal tabletop players may be used to being able to pick and choose who you activate. But with limited exception, that is not the case in Shatterpoint. So once I'm shuffled up, I'm going to take the top card off of my deck and flip it. Here I got the Mandalorian. So I'll take a look at his card here. So he's got a few different abilities that he can use here in addition to his normal actions. Normal actions being things like move, focus, take cover, shoot, stuff like that. Any action or ability you see on the card, unless it says action, does not actually consume an action. So some of your guys have an ability called defensive maneuvers. That one will allow you to dash and get hunker, but it does not consume an action. It's just going to eat some of your force power to use. All right. The Mandalorian has a nice ability called a Clan of Two, which would allow him to dash, and then if all allied units within 2 of him are a bounty hunter, Mandalorian, or scoundrel, he can make a 5-die attack against stuff. So this is a really aggressive action, things like that. So what I'm going to do, just to get us going, is I'm going to start by taking a move action. A move action can consist of move, dash, or climb, advance, dash, or climb. I'm just going to have him advance. I'm going to have him advance in such a way that he is going to stop right next to this ladder here. So in advance, we'll use this long stick here, this long bendable one. And then if you end a move, dash, advance, jump, anything like that, next to a ladder, you can place yourself within one of that ladder. So he's going to move next to the ladder and then pop up to the top. That's his first action. His second action will be to hunker. So let's see if I can find my hunker tokens. Here they are. So these are hunker tokens. Hunker tokens allow a character to get a little bit more defense dice when they're attacked. Normally when they're engaged in melee, they go away, but attacked at a range, it gives them a little bit extra defensive capability. So it also will allow me to perform a speed 1 place, so just like that. So I've taken cover, I've advanced, those are my 2 actions, he is all done. So now it goes to your activation.
Alrighty, and I have drawn Mace Windu. So I'm going to use his top ability here, the Rush to Action. So at the start of his activation, I can select another Galactic Republic unit, and we both get the dash.
Yep, give the ability to dash. Yeah.
So I'm going to bring with me my ARF troopers.
All right.
And
so, just to double check, was that everybody in the unit or one member?
Each character in this unit.
Cool.
And each character in the chosen unit may dash.
Excellent,
so
excellent.
I'm going to drag my 2 support ARF troopers with me.
So the dash action is, yep, just like that. So the dash action will use this smaller bendable stick right here. And like I said, if you can end a dash within range 1 of a ladder, you get to pop up right to the top of that ladder. So this allows him some out of turn control and will allow him to better manage the battlefield. Okay. One thing I did not mention, and it's just because I myself am a little bit new to this game, is this is a game about objective control. Because I go first, we don't calculate points, but I still check and see what objectives I control. So this orange objective back here means it's active if it's orange. If it's black, it is not active. So at the end of my turn, I would check to see if I have more models within range 2 of this objective than my opponent does. I do, and now that objective is mine until John comes and takes it from me. But again, because I was first player, the objective track, does not move.
Okay. And so he ended his dash here within 1 range of this ladder, so he's going to pop up. And I suppose that would be his first. That is
completely free. Yep.
Okay.
And did you dash with your other ARF trooper?
I dashed them both. Yes.
You dashed them both.
I
cool.
kind of moved them towards the 1 ladder here. So he is. Yeah. Let's get. We'll come here.
Okay.
Onto that objective there, and I think for his second action, I think he's also going to hunker.
Okay. So then that would allow him again to perform a speed 1 maneuver, allowing him to move from this side of the template to this side of the template.
I'll just use this
if he so desires. He only has to be within range 2 of the objective. You don't actually have to be very close at all. So anywhere in kind of this space, he's able to control that objective.
Wonderful. So he'll sit right on top of it.
All right, now, John, before we end your turn, can you grab Mace Windu's combat card there?
Absolutely.
All right, so this is our combat card. Generally speaking, this is going to help us figure out how we're going to fight people or be fought. Now, a cool thing about this for most leaders and some secondary units is that these are double-sided for most leaders and some secondary units, allowing you to pick usually between a ranged stance and a melee stance, or a defensive stance and an offensive stance. So you see here, Mace Windu's Form 7 Vapad stance has more attack dice up here on this triangular space with 7, and less defense dice with a square of 5 than his Jedi Master stance, which has a few more dice in the defense category. So that's how you determine, throughout the model's activation, you can change this stance to be what you want it to be. So would you want him to be in the defensive stance since he's not really fighting anything right now?
For now, I think I'll keep him in the defensive simply because I have a feeling a lot of blaster bolts are about to come his way.
Fair enough. All right, and then at the end of your turn, you're going to go ahead and take this range 2 stick, measure from the orange objectives to see which ones you control or don't control. So it looks like you control probably 2 of those things.
I do indeed.
So you'll go ahead and you'll take, should be some blue squares that I have hidden right here from you, and you're going to put 1 on each of those. And then we are going to come over here to our score tracker, and let's see, I think that one is actually off camera. All right, so we've got a score tracker here. This is called the struggle tracker, and this is how you figure out who's winning the game. At the end of each turn, you will check who's controlling what objectives, and then you'll move it along the score tracker, however many points you control. All right, so with it starting at 0, John being the first one to actually score points, he's going to take it 2 spaces this way, so he's got 2 points. The goal is to get this clear square to touch one of these black squares. And more black squares will fill in as models start taking damage, or if the game starts to stagnate a little bit. More to that when we get to it. So now we'll just go to my second activation here. So I will flip here, and we will find the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. So the Clan Kryze Mandalorians are not nearly as complicated as as the Mandalorian. They have many fewer abilities. Support units generally have fewer abilities, but don't let their simplicity fool you. From what I have found, the support units tend to be the most deadly units in this game, and the reasoning behind that is because every time they take an action, you've got 2 people taking an action. So if you take an attack, you've got, for the Clan Kryze, for example, you have 1 model making a 6 dice attack, and then a second model making a 6 dice attack, and that can get really dangerous really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with their jetpack ability. So it will cost me 1 force and allow them to make a jump movement. Now, a jump is a dash that ignores terrain. So a jump would allow me to just pop this guy right to the top, right there, ignoring all height and stuff like that. And then I will make a jump, bring her here, which will deposit her right next to the ladder, which will allow her to go to the top of it. All right, and then, I think I am going to take a focus action as my first real action, which will allow me to gain 1 extra dice in my attack rolls. And then my second action will be to make an attack against Mace Windu. Now, like I was saying when we're looking at this, they have a few abilities here. So normally, with their Skirmish Tactics attack card, these guys are going to get 6 dice at a range. Now, they have Focused, which normally would give them +1, bringing them up to 7, but they have an ability called Sharpshooter 1, which gives them an additional die and allows them to ignore cover when they attack. So it's going to be a grand total of 8. Then we're going to look at Mace Windu's combat card. That blue number is going to be the number of defense dice he gets. So you're going to go ahead and grab 6 of these dice. Normally you would get 7 because of your hunker token, but because of Sharpshooter, I'm going to ignore that bit of cover. Now I'm going to cast these dice here, and we have a lot of successful results right now. And then John's going to go ahead and cast his dice. All right, so now we're going to work this out in a little bit of a slow manner. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my failures. And then I'm going to take a look at my dice pool. I have 4 crits, 2 hits, and 1 expertise. So coming in and looking at these guys again, this chart down here is going to be our expertise chart. So I've got 1 expertise, 1 to 2 expertise with their ranged attack is going to give them an additional hit. So I'm just going to turn this dice into a hit. So we are sitting on 4 crits and 3 hits. Mace Windu has 2 failures, 2 expertise, and 2 successful blocks. So we're going to look at Mace Windu's chart here. We're going to take a look at his defensive side, or his defense dice expertise, and take a look at his 2 or more, or his 2 or 3 expertise results. It will give him 1 additional block die. So he's up to 3 successful blocks, and it will convert a crit to a failure. So one of my 4 crits is going to turn into a failure, and it also converts a hit to a failure. So one of my 3 hits also becomes a failure. The final bit we work out with this is we take the number of successful blocks, and we subtract that many successful hits. So he's got 3 blocks, I've got 2 hits, so I'm going to lose my 2 hits. But he can't cancel my crits with his blocks. So I am going to get the 3 crits through. Finally, we're going to take a look at the attack card here to figure out what happens because of this attack. I have 3 successes, so I'm going to take 3 steps along this chart, starting at one of the orange spaces. So I can do a damage and a pin, and then go into 2 damage to push him away, and then disarm him, or I can take a different route throughout this. Either way, you're moving forward with each step that you take, a number of steps equal to the number of successes that get through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a damage and a pin. Then we're going to do 2 damage and a push. And finally, we are going to disarm him. All right, a lot of words that we'll get to when we come to. But essentially what this means is Mace Windu is going to take 3 damage and get a couple of conditions tossed onto his card. So pass that over there. And normally this process is a lot faster, but just over-explaining so that everybody knows how this works on our initial set of shots. All right, then, because I have a second person who should be in range here, I have a range of 4. Yep, so I have a second character in range in the same unit that I'm making an attack with, so he is going to attack as well. So I'm going to throw in there, I'm going to take out my hits. I've got 3 crits, a hit, and 2 expertise. 2 expertise converts into just 1 more hit. So we are 3 hits, 3 crits, 2 hits. And same deal as before, you're going to get 6 defense dice.
That's not great.
What does 1 expertise get you with Mace Windu?
1 expertise, it looks like it converts one of your hits to a...
Yep, a hit becomes a failure, and you get an additional block.
Neat.
All right, so you were going to take out my last remaining hit, so I'm going to do 3 crits again. So it's going to be another damage and a pin. Now, because Mace Windu is already pinned, he cannot gain a second pin. So instead, what he's going to gain is another pip of damage. Then we've got 2 damage and a push, and an exposed this time. 2 damage and a push, and an exposed. Can I see one of your single damage pips real quick? I'm going to switch it out for a 5. All right. And again, we'll get to those conditions during Mace Windu's next activation, so we know what's going on. But that is going to be the end of my Clan Kree's Mandalorians. So we'll take a look at the score right now. I only have 1 objective. I've not taken any more with them. I'm off to a little bit of a slow start, so I'm going to move 1 block this way. Now, when you move your block, when you move the objective block, if it starts and ends on your opponent's side, you gain one of these momentum tokens. It's to help the game move on if it's stagnating. That being said, I have not gotten any closer to winning, while John is still off to an early lead. So now you've got one of your activations.
All right, I've drawn the ARF Troopers, which won't lie, I was not hoping to see them quite yet.
So,
But
one thing about that, if you don't want to see the ARF Troopers yet, what you can do is you can spend one of your force points, set their card aside, and draw again. And then anytime you would draw a card to activate a unit, you can just play the ARC Troopers, the ARC Troopers to activate them instead.
You know, I think I'm going to do that.
All right.
So I will spend my force, and I'll just put them right there for right now. Draw again. Now, I drew the Shatterpoint card.
Yep. So the Shatterpoint card allows any model to activate, even one that was previously activated. And if I remember correctly, Mace Windu has some crazy stuff that goes on when he activates via Shatterpoint.
That he does. So, I think we'll go ahead. And we will. I'd actually like to activate Commander Pawns.
Cool. Okay.
And there's a reason. And that is because of his charge ability. Much like Mace Windu, he can also pull Republic units with him.
Okay.
And so at the start of this unit's activation, choose another Galactic Republic character. So he can pull one person with him with the dash, which is fine. There's only one person within the range, and that is my rearmost ARF Trooper.
Okay.
Who is going to dash this direction, be within one range of the ladder here, and he's going to pop up.
Yep.
Pawns, on the other hand, is also going to kind of scoot that direction. And that's his free dash.
Does he get anything else out of charge, out of curiosity?
Not for that particular.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread the rules. The chosen character may dash, so he's going to send the ARF Trooper forward ahead of him. But he will still move.
So he'll take a regular advance action.
He's going to take a regular advance action. He's going to also end within one range of this ladder. And as long as he's within another range of this ladder, he can pop up next to the ARF Trooper, correct?
Exactly. So he'd be within range one of that ladder right there, just fine.
All right. Now, he's not very happy that Mace Windu just ate all of those shots, so I think he's going to try to fire back.
Yeah, you know, as is his God's given right.
Now, he has a range 5 weapon, so it doesn't look like he can hit the people that actually were responsible, but he can sure get in some licks on your leader.
So he's going after my babysitter over here. Look,
Yes.
I got a man with a child here, and he's getting shot at. I do not appreciate this amount of animosity.
Unfortunately.
All right, so we'll take a look here. The Mandalorian is going to get shot. I have him on Bring You In Cold, which is his range stance. This will allow me to take 6 defense dice, plus 1 for my hunker token, for a grand total of 7.
All right. And I have 6 of the attack dice. And he didn't take anything else, no focus, no nothing. He really just wanted to get into the fight.
That's fair. That being said, you do have a little bit of extra meat here. Your ARF troopers have an ability called Coordinated Fire.
That they do.
Coordinated Fire does different things for different units, but it always activates when somebody makes an attack against a unit that I believe the unit is also in range of. Yes?
If the targeted character is within 5 range of a character in this unit, the target will gain the exclamation. Yes.
So, before the attack goes off, I gain Exposed. This is essentially the clone troopers pouring on their own shots. Exposed is going to be this exclamation point. What this is going to mean is these expertise results do not work. So for this attack, my expertise defensively is turned off. Oh, that's not what I want to say.
I'll take it.
All right, and what does 2 expertise convert into for Commander Pawns?
So for his DC 15S blaster fire, 2 will result in 2 additional hits.
All right, so 2 of those expertise will convert into 2 hits. And then we'll go ahead and roll my defensive pool. Big money, no whammy. All right, so we'll immediately remove all of our failures and our expertise because our expertise does not work, which Mandalorians hate because they've got great armor. That will leave me with 3 successful defense results, which will take away 3 hits, leaving you with a total of 2, I believe.
Yes. 2 hits and a crit. So it looks like I have 2 of the explosion marks on my first grid. So is that 2 pips of damage?
That is 2 pips of damage for the first shot, and then you have a choice to make. You want to bring that back here real quick?
Of course.
He's got a choice to make. He can do 2 damage and push me, or he can do 1 damage and reposition himself. Now, the question on this is going to be, does he want to do more damage to me, or does he want to grab an objective? Because I believe a reposition action would allow him to set himself right next to this objective here and score a 3rd point this turn.
I think I would much rather push you in this particular instance
All
because hopefully what will end up happening is now that I've used the force ability, I can then activate my ARF Troopers on my next turn and bring more fire to bear.
Fair enough. So I will take a total of 4 damage and get pushed. So what you will do, just like with the Hunker, you will take a sideways measurement stick and just shove me away.
Now, in the last turn, I believe you pushed Mace Windu twice.
You were right.
Yes?
I did push him twice,
And I did
forgot
not
to
move
him. So he's going to end up there, and then I will end up with the second shot dropping him off of the ledge. There's no kind of damage or anything like that taken, but I do want him to get away from me because he's got a big, scary laser sword.
And you know what? Honestly, I'll take that because now he can't get shot at. So
that's fair. All right. So is that the end of Commander Pons?
That is the end of Commander Pons.
Cool. So now we'll count up objectives again.
Now, you said it was range 2 that I'm looking for, and I'm assuming vertically.
So as long as you have your blue marker there, it doesn't even matter.
So,
I have to take your blue marker off for you to not get points.
Okay, so sticky objectives are a thing in this system.
Yep.
So with that, I still have 2 blue markers. So I believe I will move this pip twice, yes?
Yes, sir.
So I have 3.
All right, and he's getting much closer to a win. Now, because the Mandalorian got attacked while he had an exposed condition, the exposed condition now falls off. It only sticks around for the first time he's attacked. Okay, well, let's see if I can get a little bit of objective control here because I'm really starting to fall behind. I got the Shatterpoint card. I think I am going to activate Bo-Katan Kryze here. So, this is Bo-Katan. Her passive ability here, Pride of Mandalore, says at the start of this unit's activation, choose another allied Mandalorian character. That character may jump. I'm going to pick the Mandalorian and have him jump off a bridge, hopefully putting him within range 2 of that objective. I'm going to set this ladder right here because I'm tired of fighting with it. All right. Then she herself will take a advance action and put her right up next to her other Clan Kryze Mandalorians here. This will trigger an ability called Mandalorians Are Stronger Together. After a Mandalorian makes a move, after this unit makes a move action, it may use this ability. If this character in this unit is within 2 of another allied Mandalorian character, this unit immediately makes a focus action. So she is now focused. After she makes a focus action, she can dash and heal twice. So she's going to make a dash action from that free focus. And finally, I think I'm going to have her spend a force for Jetpack to put her within control range of this objective. And I think she is going to return the favor to Pons, give him a little bit of damage back. So she is going to go ahead and make an attack against Commander Pons here. So her attack card, Close Support, has a range 4 attack with 6 dice on offense. So I'll go ahead and toss those in now. We have 4 successes, 1 failure, and 1 expertise. 1 expertise will turn into a hit. So I'm on 5 hits versus Commander Pons.
Okay. If I roll perfectly, Commander Pons can get out of this scot-free.
You can.
I can count. All right. So 5 defenses. Ooh, that's not really what I wanted to see. So the Phase 2 clone armor will convert my 1 expertise to a hit. So he will take 3 hits off of those.
All right. 3 hits here is going to be 2 damage. A damage and a pin and 2 damage. So a grand total of 5 damage and a pin.
So I'll just take one of them big pops there.
All right, now that we've got a few of these conditions out on folks, just a brief introduction of what each does. So we've seen what Exposed does. Mace Windu also has Disarm, which is like Exposed but backwards. It means you don't get expertise offensively. Thank you. I lost the word. And then the third condition that has been tossed out is pinned. Pinned says the next time you would move, you don't. So you can get rid of this. Clones have a really easy way of getting rid of this via using defensive maneuver, which allows them to dash. You just don't dash, and the pin falls off. So those are the conditions we have out so far, and that is Bo-Katan's turn. Now, Bo-Katan is the one controlling this objective because she is on the same level as it and within range too. So her objective control over it is a little bit stronger than yours because you're down below it. So she will take this one, and I will gain 1, 2, and I think the Mandalorian is over here controlling a third for me. Yes, he is. So I will shift the points back this way. 1, 2, 3. Now we've landed on the 0. When you land on a 0, both sides gain a momentum token. So the game is kicking up faster here. All right, and it's back to your turn, John.
All right. Let's think about this. I know what my next card is. And I think it'd be really funny to activate again. But I haven't had my ARF Troopers go yet, and they're kind of just sitting there waiting.
Sure.
But I think the smarter play here would be to activate pawns a second time.
Okay.
So I will activate pawns again. He is also going to use his charge ability on this last remaining ARF Trooper down here.
Getting him into the fight.
He's going to finally get him into the fight. He's going to charge over... Which side would I like him to dash on? That's the real question. You know what? I think I'll dash him this direction. And that's just to get some coordinating fire here. So the ARF Trooper will pop up there. That seems like a somewhat silly idea now that I think about it, but that's okay. He is going to then... I think I'm going to have him hunker.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have him hunker, and he's going to fire back.
Okay.
I think would make the most sense for me.
So one thing that is a little bit unintuitive to a lot of wargamers is this game is almost essentially played in 2D. So there's no weird line of sight drawing or anything like that. So Pawns, technically right now, is also able to shoot at the Mandalorian if he so desires.
Mandalorian that he's already hurt, or Bo-Katan who's on an objective that I think he stands a better, the ARF Troopers stand a better chance of getting to. I think he's going to unload into Bo-Katan.
Okay. So Bo-Katan defensively gets 4 at a range.
Wonderful. And he's going to use the DC 15 again, so he gets 6.
1 expertise on... Bo-Katan gets exposed because of your coordinated fire.
Coordinated fire.
So she doesn't get any expertise. So I'm sitting on 2 successes with Bo-Katan.
All right. And I have...
Spicy.
That's going to leave a mark. So his... I believe the way that I'm reading this is this. If it's 1 to 3, 2 get converted to hits.
Yep. So
Okay.
those 2 expertise
So
will convert into 2 hits.
Hit 2 hits. So 6 hits. Oh boy.
And I've got 2 blocks, so I'm going to shave 2 of them off.
Okay.
That leaves 4 steps on the damage track. That's going to take Pawns all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah. That's a very easy decision here. It will start with the 2 damage.
All right. So
It will then go to 2 damage and a push.
Okay.
Then it will go to 1 damage and a disarm.
1 damage and a disarm.
And there's your... And then 2 more damage.
And 2 more damage. All right. This is actually pinned.
Pinned.
All
That's
right.
right, the
So
push
it's
just
going to be a total of 6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy. Bo-Katan only has 8 health per wound.
7 damage total.
7 damage.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's 2, 2, 1, 2.
All right, so that will bring Bo-Katan up to 7 damage, and you get to push her as well as disarm her.
I think I'm going to end up pushing her
Take her right off the gantry.
right off the gantry.
Fair enough. And if you would like, you are allowed to perform a follow-up maneuver when you push somebody. So if you want, you can take Pawns.
Is that affected by the fact that Pawns is pinned?
It is not.
Okay, so pawns will absolutely advance to take that space now.
It's all yours.
And that will be his turn.
All right, you want to toss a blue marker up there?
And now he has a hunker token, so how does the hunker...
So you will take one of these nice little hunker tokens and put it on his card.
Very well.
And 2 points to you, so that's going to bring you back in the lead here. All right, my last card is going to be Bo-Katan again. I am not liking all this fighting that's going on. I think I need to find a way out of this jam. I think so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pride of Mandalore to get another free jump, and I'm going to put the Mandalorian over here. Then Bo-Katan is going to pay 1 and jump herself, but she's not going very far. She is just going to end up on the far side of the bottom side of this gantry. And then I think I'm going to use a advance action and get her back here on your objective, force you to turn around a little bit.
Okay.
If you could help me out with that.
Of course.
And that means that I am out of force now. I have no more force to use, but it's okay because force refreshes when you shuffle up your activation deck. So by the time the next turn comes around, I will have my force returned. All right, so Bo-Katan is going to take this objective from you. So that is going to be 3 points to me. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of my activation. Now it's back to you.
All right. Well, my last card is going to be the ARF Troopers.
Okay.
And the first action that I'm going to have is I'm going to have them advance. Yes, we'll have them advance. I will have... As much as he wants to stay up on top of this ladder, he's going to pop back down it.
Okay. You are able to move down without issue.
Without issue.
So if you want to use that long advance to just walk right off the side, that's just fine.
Okay. So he can come down to basically right here.
Yep, back in control range of that objective.
Okay.
And the other one?
Is also going to advance right off the side.
Yep, because they share the action. So they will
Yes.
both be doing an advance if one is going to advance. All right, so now he's got enough guys there to take the objective back from me.
Wonderful.
And
Now,
are you going to shoot at me?
absolutely. I'm going to do what clones are best for, and that's going to be for shooting. Now, they're going to have coordinated fire.
Now, does coordinated fire activate for themselves, or is it when another unit?
When a character in another allied galactic unit.
Okay.
So, they're not going to get coordinated fire.
Does Pawns have anything like coordinated fire? I know some of the clone
He
commanders
unfortunately
do.
does not. He has incoming, so he provides a little bit more
Defensively?
durability.
Fair enough.
But I guess I'll give him a hunker. I'll give him a hunker token. I'll have him
Okay.
take the hunker roll, or the hunker action.
Now, you
And
have a little bit of extra force if you want to spend on defensive maneuvers to get that hunker token for free.
You know what?
Because you're about to
Yeah,
shuffle up
I'm about to
again.
shuffle up anyway. We might as well. So we'll use one of them forces, and they can actually dash, but I'm not going to have them move.
But that frees up your second action to attack with
But
if
it
you
does,
so desire.
and I will indeed do that. Now,
All right.
They have the DC 15A, so they have 7 attack dice. 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, and they're going into Bo-Katan, who, as
There.
we established earlier, gets 4 dice on the defense.
It'd be helpful if I wasn't dropping things.
Dice and tokens fly everywhere.
It's utter chaos and pandemonium. I'll take that.
All right, and what does your expertise convert
My
into?
1 expertise will convert one of these to a hit.
Excellent. All right, and over here, I am not exposed, so I will get to use some of that fine Mandalorian armor. 1 expertise will convert into 2 successful defense rolls. So I have maximized her damage prevention here. She is going to shear off your 3 hits, but you still have your 1 crit going through.
All right, and that means that Bo-Katan will take 1 additional damage, and will also get pinned.
All right. So that will bring Bo-Katan up to 8 damage, unfortunately, which is her maximum health. That means that she is going to take one of these nice, pretty wound markers and essentially cease to exist on this battlefield until she next activates. This makes it so that a character who's getting beat up on can't just have an entire list smash them down before they have a chance to react. So that is going to be a little bit rough for me because in addition to that, when you wound an enemy character, you get a point of momentum. All right.
And then I have 2 of the objectives, and so my swing back my way.
Yep. And then we go back to my turn. I have to shuffle up my deck, my order deck, so that's going to refresh my 3 force tokens here. I'll shuffle up this deck here. And I'll flip over my first card here. We get Shatterpoint. All right. What to do? I don't love the spot Bo-Katan is in right now. That being said, I think I can recapture that center point with my Clan Kryze Mandalorians if I decide to send them after it. So you know what? I think that is what I am going to have to end up doing. I'm going to use the Shatterpoint to activate the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. I will spend a force for their jetpack. So they will jump to there and to here. I am just within 2, so if I can get pawns either defeated or pushed back, I can take that objective. So I will take the focus action to give myself an extra attack die, as well as an extra die for my sharpshooter special rule. My skirmish tactics is a range 4, 6 dice attack, plus 2 for my focus and sharpshooter for a total of 8. And we're taking a shot at pawns. Oh, that is way too many expertise.
Oh, no.
So I cap out at 5+ expertise. I hit 6, and what they will do is convert into 2 crits and a hit. So I got 2 crits and a hit out of that for a grand total of 5 successes.
I don't think I can save against that.
I think I bumped one of these 2. I think I had 1 hit, not an extra crit. So I think I'm 3 and 2.
Okay. He's going to use those 2, but with 2, he'll get 1 extra.
All right.
So
you're going to wash out my 2 hits. I will keep my 3 crits. So that is going to be a damage and a pin.
Okay.
2 damage and a push.
All right.
And an expose.
Okay, so that was enough to knock him over the edge. He only had 7 health.
Okay.
He already had 5 damage, so he ceases to exist.
All right, so I'm going to drop him off the back here. And then I will claim this objective as my own. That will bring me up to 3 total objectives. So I'll move this objective marker back 1, 2, 3 spaces.
Yee.
And that is the end of my Clan Kryze Mandalorians.
All right. Let's see what we can't find here. All right, so I've shuffled.
Can you jiggle the toilet? The mute button is a wonderful feature.
All right, so I've shuffled, reset my force. Draw. Oh, that's exactly who I wanted to see.
That is not what I wanted to
now,
see.
unfortunately, he has the pin, which means that if he were to move, he can't.
That is fair,
Which
but
does hurt me a little bit.
with rush to action, I believe it allows him to make a free dash action, correct?
It absolutely does.
So he will be able to shrug that with just the rush to action. It will remove his pin.
Very well. So, for free, he will do that.
There is also, I know it's going to be impossible for you to see, there is a ladder sitting right here. So if he takes an advance action around the side here, he can pop up.
Now, He also, each character in that unit also gets to dash, and so he's going to have the ARF troopers dash, and that's both of them this time, not just like pawns. So this ARF trooper is going to ascend this ladder here because
I feel like some coordinated fire is in my future.
there's a possibility of it. This one is going to swing here. He's also in range 1 of this ladder. They're both going to pop up there. Now, since his pin is now shrugged, and the Mandalorian is somewhat
Over here.
over there, he's kind of hurt. And I have a feeling that once Pawns comes back, there's going to be a little bit of pincering there. But also at the same time, while he's activated, I'm going to change his stance.
Ooh, he's going into murder stance.
Just a little bit. And
now, one thing for all you players out there of tabletop games to know, a lot of you guys are probably wondering how melee combat works. Melee combat, you have to be within that range 2 distance, and then you are engaged. You cannot advance out of engagement range, but you can dash and jump out of it. All of your hunker tokens fall off when you are engaged in melee combat, unless you have Obi-Wan on your side, because the dude is a defensive genius. But yeah, as long as you can get within this distance of somebody, you are engaged. Now, it doesn't stop you from getting shot at like most games do, but it does allow you to bring that laser sword to the fore.
All right, now, I can't really see it, as you said.
Yeah,
so is
you're
my
all
advance,
good.
am I good?
Yep.
All right, so he's going to advance to, oh, there goes that ladder. Advance to wherever the end of that thing is.
You would just drag him out, like something like this, and pop him right up here.
Okay, so he's going to be right there.
And now he is engaged with both of my Mandalorians, making it so they cannot make ranged attacks.
Now,
Mandalorians are much worse in melee than they are at range.
Now, here's a fun thing about Mace Windu. He has an ability called This Party's Over.
Uh-oh.
While a character in this unit is engaged, allied Galactic Republic characters within 5 gain Steadfast and Protection.
Excellent.
Which is everyone.
And what that means, Steadfast means the first time each turn you would be pushed. And remember, a turn is a character's activation. The first time each turn you would be pushed, you can choose to not be. And Protection is after a damage pool has been created, reduce the damage in it by 1.
Okay. So, with that, he's going to have 7 attack.
Gross.
A little bit into your support. That's all right.
Spicy.
I'll take that. So with 1, he will convert. Looks like a hit. Oh no, it's a crit because it's got the circle around it, right?
That is
so
correct.
This gets converted into a crit.
And remember, you have clone troopers over there with supporting fire, right?
With I only have the coordinated fire.
Yep, yeah, coordinated fire.
Coordinated fire. So, alert. So any expertise that you would have
Does not work.
does not work.
So 4 defense dice with no expertise. Oh, that's so heartbreaking too. 2 expertise for these guys gives them 2 blocks.
Well,
oh, that's brutal. All right, so I've got 1 block. I'm going to share off 1 of your hits.
Okay.
Leaving you with 5 successes.
Now a question. So with the first step, it has 2 highlighted elements. Do I choose one, or is that you get both from the start?
You choose one, and this is the last condition we have not talked about yet. This is the strained condition. What strained does is it puts a condition on me that says if my first action when I activate them is not to remove the strained condition, I will just take 3 damage.
Oh.
So it's one of those things where you got, if you want to set up for future, but honestly with 5 pips, I think you got a good shot at removing these guys. They only got 7 health.
Okay, then what we'll do is we'll start with the 2 damage.
Okay, 2 damage.
Followed by 3 damage.
Followed by 3
1, 2,
damage.
3, 4, 5. Followed by another 2.
And that will be enough to take to wound them.
Okay.
Is there any conditions in your remaining steps?
There would be disarm, and I can push.
Okay, so the disarm will go on as well. And do you want to push?
I do. I would like to push this individual back here.
Fair enough.
Clearing them well out of the range here and flipping this objective
Back to
back
you.
in my favor. And that should be his turn.
All right, so that puts you on 2.
Is 1 and 2. It ends on 0, so
Okay.
you said...
That being said, now that I'm realizing it, I just realized Mace Windu has a disarm token, so his 1 expertise would not actually proc. But you did have enough damage to kill me.
Okay.
The only thing it would have changed is I wouldn't get pushed.
Okay, so we will just simply put you back, but I still believe...
Oh yeah, it's still yours because
Okay.
I'm wounded. I cannot.
That's right,
I
you
do not
cease to
exist.
exist.
Yep.
All right, but that is that turn, and then because our counter here has ended on the 0,
Yep.
we should each gain 1 black token,
That is correct. We
Which
will both
means-
gain a momentum.
which means I believe this game will end one way or the other upon your activation.
I do believe so. In fact, I think, well, the first stage of this game will. So I think if I start and stop an activation, it will just end in my favor. I get the Clan Kreese Mandalorians. I don't know that I love them activating right now. You know what? I think I might have to do it anyway. All right, so the Clan Kreese Mandalorians will activate. Now, as we can see, my Clan Kreese Mandalorians have taken enough damage to become wounded. We can tell that by the wound token. The first thing that happens when a wounded unit activates is they clear all their damage. They take away 1 condition that is on them. So if somebody has like four conditions when they go into wounded, they are still messed up. And then I will flip this guy over to the injured side now, and we will start their activation. Now, because they are injured, everything gets more expensive. So this jetpack will cost an additional force power to use. I still think it is worth using, so I will spend 2 force on the jetpack because I need them to get the heck away from this crazy Jedi and his laser sword. I do not want to be in melee range of this guy. Cool, all right, I'm just outside of reach. Man, that guy is nuts. He came up screaming something about lightsabers and snakes on planes, and I don't want to deal with that. For their first action, they will focus, and then they are going to attempt to finish off Mace Windu. The guy's looking pretty hurt, so I think it's time for us to finish the job. We have 6 dice base, then we are focused and sharpshooter, which will bring us back to 8. I think Mace Windu is on his 5 defense dice side, right?
Yes, he is.
All right. So, we have a lot of failures. Holy moly. 4 failures, 3 hits, and 1 crit.
Ew, that's not great. He does get 1 expertise.
Is he exposed?
He is, actually.
All right, so no defensive expertise
No defensive
for him.
expertise, so he's only going to shed the 1, which, math. If you deal less than 4 damage, he can stay standing.
Let's find out. So, I get to take 3 steps. I will damage and pin. I will deal 2 damage. And I will expose.
Okay.
So it's going to be 3 damage, pinned, and exposed.
Okay.
But then, remember this guy has a squad mate that will be making the same attack.
I didn't realize that. I had only had the 1 ARF trooper attack that one time.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that the support were... That's right, because their movements are separate. Surely their shooting would be separate, too.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know for the future.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
3 failures, 2 expertise, which will convert to 1 hit. So I've got 4 hits.
Okay. 4 hits.
Yep.
If I can manage...
5 dice, no expertise.
If I can manage to see 5 little circles, he can make it. No.
Close, close.
Kidding me.
All right.
With the exposed, he would have done it, but alas. So he is now wounded,
Yep, and he is...
ceasing to exist.
He does not have exposed anymore, but he will pick up
The pin.
the pinned. Yep.
Okay.
And I will push him this way, knock him back off the gantry, and I will You know what? I didn't even nominate which one was shooting when, so I don't want to follow up with anybody.
Okay.
That will give me a momentum, but we are already at the point where we are at 1-1 as far as momentum goes, so no more momentum will be gained. And then we will tally up objectives. Hopefully, yep, I'm back in control of this one, and that means this will flip to me. So, the objective marker will pop over to my side, land on one of my black tokens, and this round will end. Shatterpoint is usually played as a best of 3. So what happens now is, because John lost the first round, he will pick which objective map we use for the second round. So all of these black circles are deactivated objectives, whereas all of these are active objectives. So if he wants to play a more defensive game towards his side of the board, he can activate this map. Whereas if he's pushed up onto my side of the board and he thinks he can hold it against me, he'll use this map.
Okay. Well, I think based off the layout of where my individuals are, I think it'd be probably smarter if I went with this one.
Okay, so this map here means this objective will stay active, the center one will go dark, and both flanks will go dark. Also, all holding markers are removed. So nobody controls any objectives coming into this. An additional little bit here is the game now changes a little bit. Because we are playing shifting priorities, at the start of each activation, we are going to roll a defense die. And that defense die is going to tell us which objective is a critical objective. The critical objective is worth 2 points if you control it at the end of your activation. So, I believe you have the activation now?
No, it'd be yours.
I think I shot out Mace Windu.
That's right,
and
you did
ended
just
turn.
shoot out Mace
Yep.
Windu, didn't you?
So you will roll a defense die, and that will be
This one here.
this objective right here becomes the priority objective. I will pass you one of these tokens so that we can remember. So you want to do everything you can to get somebody over there to hold that objective this turn.
All right. That is okay. I'll take Pawns. All right, so Pawns is wounded. He is pinned from his last bout with death, but he does have the charge ability, so he can tell any Galactic Republic characters, hey, move. And so he's going to tell the ARF trooper up here to start going that way.
All right. And now remind me, was Pawns wounded at the start of the turn?
He had been wounded, and he's just now
This is his first-
reactivating.
Okay, so he will lose one condition.
One condition?
Yep.
Okay.
And whenever you activate, your hunker tokens fall off.
Hunker tokens fall off. Wonderful. So, actually, he has no... so he's not pinned then?
He is not pinned.
He's not pinned. Wonderful. Well,
And I think you are in range to control this objective with this guy. Range 2 is always a little bit bigger than people think. So that's going to be worth 2 points.
Excellent. To that end, I think Pawns is going to... Oh, there's a support color there. Pawns is going to kind of come somewhat this direction.
Oh, I don't like that. Hold on now. Hold on now.
Pawns will go there, and he's going to take a...
You're going to shoot at my man and his baby?
Yeah. But he's going to take the shooting action.
He's got a child. You're shooting at a man with a child.
Listen, Pawns was killed by a child, so we don't... Well, I guess he wasn't. It was Aura Singh. But the point is...
That is crazy. All right, Pawns taking a shot at the
Pawns
Mandalorian.
taking a shot at the Mandalorian. I think he's going to keep using the blaster rifle because it seems to be doing well for him. So six shots, and the only reason that I differentiate is because Pawns has 2 different weapon characteristics. He's got the rifle and he's got his pistols, and they each do something different for the expertise. But I think that
I also think Pawns pistols are for melee use.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I can see that now. Never mind. When you learn to read symbols, man. So he's going to be shooting you with the rifle. I'll take that. He will convert.
Yikes.
He'll
On
convert this
dice.
to a hit. I think that's twice now that Pons has managed to completely hit everything upon one of your main characters.
Which is wild because the Mandalorian has an ability called Do the Magic Hand Thing, where if you roll any offensive failures while shooting at him, Grogu goes, I'm going to make you take some damage. This is the second time the Mandalorian has been shot by Pons, and the second time Pons has said, no failures.
You know, I think Pons just really doesn't like the Beskar armor. It's too shiny for him.
That being said, it looks like it got a little bit in your eyes, because that is 5
So
defensive
1, 2,
successes.
3, 4, 5, which will knock off all of the regular hits, but he still crits, which means the Mandalorian will still take 2 damage.
Wild. I am going to be out here taking 2 damage on the Mandalorian.
Yes, and
That will bring him to 6 total damage.
Pons is within 2 of this side objective here, and that will be his turn.
All right. I need this activation to be a good one. Oh, look at that. It's the baby man himself. Oh, we forgot to do your points.
Oh,
So you
yes.
got 1 for Pons, for the objective Pons picked up, and 2 for the critical objective. All right, let's see which objective becomes critical this turn. I am crossing my fingers for a block. Show me a block. That is a block. That is my own objective. All right, I'm in this game a little bit longer. So I will take that priority marker, please. I will set that right here. All right, now I'm super okay with the Mandalorian being the one to activate. The Mandalorian did not appreciate that at all. So, right now he's on bringing you in cold. I think he's going to shift to bring you in warm, which is his melee stance. He's going to run up, and he is going to give Pons a little bit of what for here. So he's going to run up on the ability to contest that point and hopefully put Pons down so he can take it away from him.
Let's hope not.
We are going to make a 7 dice attack against him. Can I get 3 more from you, please?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been kind of hoarding them over here. My
Thank
bad.
you. It's all right. You're the one making the attack. All right. Now I will be attacking you with 7 dice with my martial prowess, which is not turning out the way I needed it to.
You know, I'll take it.
We are on 6 hits, so everything is on the table to be blocked. And you're using Pons melee defense, right?
Melee defense, which I believe is 5. Yeah,
Okay.
the phase 2 clone armor is pretty well rounded. It seems.
All right.
That is.
Go ahead and re-roll that one. Yeah.
Yee.
All right.
Yee.
So you got 2 expertise. 2 expertise is 1 block.
Yeah, 1 to 2 is
Oh,
only 1 block, so
that's
he's gonna
gonna be
take.
brutal.
Ow, yeah.
That's going to be 5 steps on bringing you in warm.
Oh, Pons, I'm sorry, buddy, but I don't think you did enough.
All right, so this is going to be a damage and a push.
Okay.
2 damage. A damage and a push. A damage and a... pardon me. Yes. So we got damage and a push, 2 damage, a damage and a push. And then we will damage and disarm and damage and strain you.
Ooh, yeah, that did it.
That's enough?
He only has 7 health. So
All right.
That's his second wound, so he
I'm
is.
gonna knock you
He's
back
kind of been
twice.
murdered.
All right. So even though Pons has reached his maximum durability, he will still get the revenge of 1 last action before he bleeds out, which will allow him to contribute something to this team with his dying breath. I control 2 objectives now, and luckily one of which is my home objective, which is the one that's buying me some extra points this turn. So we're going back 1, 2, 3 the other way, and we will put a momentum token down on both sides.
All right.
Because we are on 0.
All right. It'd be really cool if I could get another. I believe it is the diamond.
The
Yeah,
expertise.
That's the one. Yeah, the expertise one. That's the word I was trying to find. So it'd be really cool if I can get an expertise because my ARF troopers are already on it. I really hate to make Mace Windu run in there and hit the baby again. It is
You
in fact.
do get an expertise. That's
All right.
wild.
So even if I do get some fun things,
That's wild.
it's already mine. All right, it is the ARF Trooper turn. I think what I'm going to end up doing, though, is I'm going to Oh, I forgot. Coordinating fire. Anyway, that's fine. When you keep forgetting things,
Yeah, it's honestly
all right.
learning a new game is hard
learning a new
too.
game is kind of difficult. So I think I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to use a force point. I'm going to put them in reserve because they're on top of things right now. They're fine with it. So my last card drawn is the Shatterpoint.
Oh, are you going to activate Shatterpoint himself?
Do I Shatterpoint pawns? Makes a focus action. Okay, just impact 2 till the end of the turn.
Impact 2 is like sharpshooter, but for melee.
Interesting. Or I could, if he was on the other side, he could have healed. But, where's Mace Windu at?
He is right here.
He is right there. I think... I think it'd probably be smarter. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit smarter to activate pawns again.
Okay.
So we'll activate pawns again. With his last dying breath, he's going to focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are you going to attack the Mandalorian, or are you going to attack the...
I will indeed attack the Mandalorian.
All right.
there.
I do think the Mandalorian is out of range of coordinated fire.
Coordinated fire.
That being said, if Pons wants to take some shots at the Clan Kree's Mandalorians, they are within range.
Yeah,
So that is up to you. I would get 1 dice for cover, but I would get exposed. So it's up to you which one you think is best. The Mandalorian currently has 5 health remaining.
5 health remaining.
Yep, so actually a focus and a shoot action would probably get you pretty close.
I think I'm going to try that, because if I can knock him out, I might stand a chance to do some...
Do you want to focus and shoot, or do you want to shoot and then move, hoping that you can take him out and then recapture that
We'll shoot and then
objective?
move and hope.
All right.
So...
Rebellions are built on hope.
Uh-huh. All right, so
Such,
he gets...
such a cheesy line. All right, I got 6 defense dice. I'll bring you in warm.
6 shots.
So I have 2 successes and 2 expertise. 2 expertise for my Beskar armor will convert into 2 blocks and will downgrade a crit to a failure.
Okay.
Let's see some good numbers here. Let's see all crits.
That's actually not bad. With the blaster rifle, this will get converted. His expertise will get converted into a hit.
Is it 1 or 2? It looks like it's 2 hits, yeah?
Oh, it is 2 hits.
2 hits on his, so you just add another die in there.
Okay,
Yep.
but one of his crits is
It's a
converted to a failure.
And then my defense dice will eat 4.
So he's going to take 2 hits, which is going to be a grand total of 4 damage.
4
and a
damage.
push.
Bring me up to 9. Oh, but you got a push.
I did get a push.
Let's see. Will that get me far enough away from the objective? Excuse me. Brings me up to 10,
Nope.
not 9.
Not quite. You're still right there.
Did you have any failures?
Well, you had the downgraded conversion.
I did. So I'm going to do the magic hand. Oh, wait. I can't. It's no good. It's useless. You're bleeding out anyway.
I'm bleeding out anyway.
I don't need to do the magic hand thing.
So then I guess he would have advanced with his dying breath, only to realize that he didn't quite do enough, and he will simply expire there upon the objective.
All right, so that is the end of Commander Pons. Now we go to me, up on models but down on resources. I got Bo-Katan. All right, so she's going to shrug this damage. She is going to lose... goodness gracious, I don't know what to take off of her. She'll probably lose the pinned. Yeah, she'll lose the pinned. Because at least with the disarm, she can still attack. It's just not as good. All right. Then at the start of this unit's activation, choose an allied Mandalorian character. That character may jump.
Did we do the points?
Oh, we did not.
Yes. So I would swing this 2.
Yep.
And then You would roll.
Yeah,
for the
you were
critical.
right. You're absolutely right. I'm getting so far ahead of
Hey!
myself. Oh no! Oh no! That is not what I needed to see.
Love to see that.
Oh no! There's no way I'm gonna get to that objective to keep. Oh, goodness gracious! All right, what's gonna happen here is I'm going to give the free jump to this Mandalorian. She is going to jump into close combat with your clone trooper. And
Okay.
then Bo-Katan herself is going to start crying. I think she's going to move under this gantry so that she's within striking distance of the objective, even if she can't get all the way there. And then she's going to take a shot at the clone trooper in front of her.
Okay.
So, she does not. Oh, wait, she does. So she does have No! Okay, so. Everybody's listening to my expletives here, and I'm not making much sense. Mandalorians are stronger together. This is a reactive, in Crisis Protocol, they call them superpowers. Ability, I'm not 100% sure what they're called in this game. But this symbol means it's reactive. Now, you see here, it's free. But Ms. Bo-Katan has been injured, which means all of her active and reactive abilities cost 1 additional force. So even though this is free, it now costs her 1 force to use Mandalorians are stronger together, which is crazy. I don't have the force because I spent it jumping around the place. So, I guess I'm just going to have to go in bare bones, no focus, just blasting away. I got 6 dice on her close support Westar 35 blaster pistols, which will give me 2 failures and 4 successes. 4
All right.
hits.
Now the ARF troopers, being a recon force, had a little bit lighter armor, apparently, than Pons does. So they only get 4 defensive dice, but I can still block it all.
Oh
And
no!
I will.
That's wild.
He
All
wants
right.
that objective. He wants it bad.
Yeah, that's Bo-Katan right there. Her disarm falls off because she did make an attack, and that's all she got. That's all she wrote, folks. Now, one of the things I was talking about at the beginning of this game is how durable and late game Mandalorians normally are. And usually, if you don't mind me distracting everybody,
Yes.
that is because one of their leaders that you usually take, the Armorer, has an ability called Our Survival is Our Strength, This is the Way. And what that ability says, very simply, is that Mandalorians never pay extra power for being wounded. They don't care. Wound them all day long, everything costs 2 force power. That being said, the Armorer only has 2 force pips herself, so she kind of needs to bring that utility. Because some people will walk into a fight with 7 or 8 force. I'm walking into a fight with 5. Yeah, that's it for Bo-Katan. She's done.
All right. And that means that I believe you swing because you
Yep.
have the 1 and 2.
I do. So that brings us back to 0, which will give us a pip on each side for momentum.
All right. Come on, Dice Gods. Keep it going. One more time.
No, get out of here.
No, it's the far
All right.
point.
No, it's
oh,
this
no,
one.
it's this one
Yep.
here. All right. Well, the last individuals that I have to activate are the ARF troopers, which is a little not great.
So you have a few options here. You can take a move action to dash one ARF trooper out of combat and move the other one. Or you could take a focus and then fight action. One ARF trooper will be stuck fighting melee, but the other one will get to shoot.
Now, since it's the best 2 out of 3, I need to take an objective. Well, no, not necessarily, because you could roll poorly and swing the objective back my way. So I'm going to, I'm gonna quote Han Solo here, never tell me the odds, and I'm simply going to focus and fight.
Oh man, here we go.
So-
All right, so we got our first split fight, a fight that is going into 2 different units. So who do you want to resolve first? The melee fight against the Clan Kreese or the ranged
I
attack?
think I'm going to shoot first.
Okay.
'Cause they seem to be a little bit better at shooting than they are punching things.
Still following the spirit of Han too.
Of course. 4, 5, 6.
All right,
7.
and are you shooting at Bo-Katan or are you shooting
I
at the
will
Clan
in-
Kreese?
Oh, do I weaken the Clan Kreese member hoping that the other guy can finish them? Or do I take out the threat that is Bo-Katan? But Bo-Katan is already injured.
They both are.
They both are already injured.
Yes. So if you can put 8 damage on Bo-Katan, it will put her out of the game for good after her next activation. If you can put 7 damage on the Clan Kreese, it will put them out of the game for good after
All
the
right,
next
then I think
activation.
I'm going to, because I think removing 2 models is probably better than 1.
Hey, there you go.
So I'm
Field
going
control.
to focus. I'm going to focus my fire up on the gantry there.
Okay. Now I am at a higher level than you, so that will automatically give me cover. So it'll bring me from 4 dice to
All right.
5.
but-
I'm sorry, 5 to 6.
I have coordinated fire.
You cannot support. You cannot
That's right,
coordinate yourself.
Because he's engaged. That's right. All right. So then, in that case,
There's way too many expertise. 4 expertise for me is the same as 2, so I've got a grand total of 4 blocks.
all right, 7 shots.
Oh no!
That's
That is a
not
cursed
great.
attack roll.
He will get 2 hits out of the expertise, though.
Cool.
Or, one hit out of the expertise. I was looking at pawns for a second. So
Did you roll 7 or 8? You focus, so roll in 1 more attack die.
yeah, I can't math.
2 expertise. Does
2
that get you any
expertise?
better?
It's still just the 1.
Just the 1 hit. Okay.
Yep. All right.
So I will block all but your crits.
All right. Well, that is 1 damage and a push. Or
1
pin.
dam-
Sorry, pin. That's a
1
pin
damage
symbol.
and I'm pinned. All
1
right.
damage and a pin. So there is the pin and the 1 damage. That could have been way better, I think. But his buddy now, I suppose, is going to hopefully bring the pain.
All right. In melee, I'm much worse. I get only 4 dice defensively, but luck was with me there, so I've got 4 blocks. And did you roll in your extra dice for focus? Excellent.
All right. So the melee expertise, I rolled how many expertise?
2.
I get 2 additional hits.
Hey, look at that.
So grand total of 4.
4 hits to 4 blocks. I
4
survived
hits to
this
4
time.
blocks. Yeah. Come on, boys. Pawns would be upset with you.
Pawns would have choice words.
Pawns would have many choice words. It's okay. They're not fighting droids. They're not really sure what to do.
All right. So you get a point off of that
I
one.
get 1 point off that round.
All right. Then I will shuffle up, reset my force, and then up first we have the Clan Kreese Mandalorians. Well, I mean, I should just respond in kind, yeah?
Yes. Do you want
So-
to change the critical objective?
Oh,
Let's see if
yep,
my
gotta
gamble
roll that.
paid off.
Critical objective will put this one under me.
No, it did not pay off. So I think this is going to be another loss for the Republic.
All right, so we will focus
no.
and fight. The one in melee will. Hold on. You were right. There is something to be said about being able to end the game here. The question is, can my jump get me to it, and can I get you off the objective? I can get you off the objective with a single hit. Check my jump here. My jump would put me in melee range of you.
Okay.
Oh, the odds aren't great, but you know what? I'm going to Han Solo it too. Never tell me the odds, baby.
Six
So,
dig scars. Glory
I'm
lasts
gonna-
forever.
I'm going to pay 2 force for jump pack to
All
jump
right.
me out of that fight and into another fight. I am then going to focus and fight. I only get sharpshooter. I do not get impact, which means I will not get additional dice in melee. So my melee dice is 5 plus the focus brings me up to 6. No sharpshooter for 7.
All right, and I've got 4 defensive dice for that Recon Phase 2 armor.
You know what? I cheated a little bit. My Clan Kreese Mandalorians were pinned, so I would have to not focus. I would have to jump pack to shrug it and then advance, which would dash me off and yada yada. All right. Oh, it's looking spicy though.
Oh, dear.
It's looking spicy. 1 expertise turns into a hit in melee.
Okay.
So I've got 3 hits, 2 crits.
All right. Whoa!
4 expertise. It's a good thing you're not exposed.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really helpful when you max out at 3. So he's going to get 2 blocks,
All right.
which will take care of...
2 of my hits.
Yep, so 3 hits.
Leave me on 3 successes. 3 successes is going to be a damage and a push.
Okay.
2 damage and a push.
Okay.
And an exposed. So I'm going to push you twice and get you off of this objective.
Okay.
And I think that is it for me
That will
there.
be it.
All right. So at the end of this turn, I could go through and shoot Mace Windu, but at this point, it will not make a difference. At the end of this turn, I will get 1, 2, 3 points for the objectives I control, plus 1 extra point for controlling the priority objective. And that will end this game. I will take the second of best out of 3. The third objective turns the map into something that looks like this if we made it there. But yeah, end of the day, Mandalorians walk away with a win, and lots of good gameplay, lots of good things learned. So thank you guys for stopping by, and have a great day.